the Reverend Victor Robert Farrell.
Do I know you?
No, we've never met before. I've just arrived in Sheffield today. I wonder if you can help me.
How can I help you?
I've got this strange project in that I'm travelling around the 66 cities of the United Kingdom in 66 days. And Sheffield is my 58th city.
Wow. I've never covered 66 cities in 66 days. What on earth are you doing in 66 cities in the United Kingdom?
Well, Helen, it's like this. It just so happens that the Bible has got 66 books. So I'm travelling to 66 cities in 66 days to speak from each of the 66 books of the Bible. And today is number 58.
Just a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hebrews!
You got it.
So, what are you going to tell us about Hebrews? We've got something interesting.
I have. I want to
Okay.
talk a little bit about Jesus.
Okay. Do you want to hear the guy?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, come on.
Thank
Tell
you.
us what you know about Hebrews.
Thank you very much. This journey is a 3,300-mile journey. And the reason I'm doing it is this year, 2011, is the 400th anniversary of a Bible called the King James Bible. And it has a very important place in the English language and the English-speaking peoples of the world. So we're celebrating the fact that it is the 400th anniversary. And it was first published in the year 1611, 1611, 400 years ago. And my journey begins on the 11th of September in the city of London, and then all down the south coast of England to Wales, across the sea to Northern Ireland, back to Scotland, all the cities in Scotland, and now the northern part of England. And I finish my last talk in the city of Westminster, which is next door to London, on the 16th of November, which is 1611. So it's very similar to 400 years ago. And the exciting thing about my journey is I never know what I'm going to do tomorrow. So when I woke up this morning, I didn't know I was going to be speaking here tonight. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know that I would speak to the Lord Mayor of Sheffield today, which I did. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know I would go to the university and speak to the chaplaincy department. I didn't know that I would go to the University Arms and have a drink and speak about Hebrews there as well. So it's an exciting journey. And tomorrow I'm in the city of Nottingham, and I don't know what God has got planned for me. God is real, and He seems to work everything out. And He does this because He is my Father. I am His Son. And the wonderful thing about God, He is a God of love and a God of relationship, which is why I can call God my Father. That's a big thing. Little me can call big God my Father. And this is because of Jesus. And I would like to tell you why, if that's okay. The book of Hebrews, which is the 58th book of the Bible, was written by a man called the Apostle Paul. An apostle is a missionary, somebody that has been sent out to tell the story of Jesus. I think I'm a missionary here to speak to you about Jesus. So, the Apostle Paul maybe wrote this letter to a group of people called the Hebrews. Like the Chinese people are scattered throughout the world, Tang was telling me he has no problem coming to England because there are Chinese people here already. Well, the Jewish people were scattered throughout the world, and the letter to Hebrews is to Jewish people throughout the world, and they were in a sad state. And the writer to Hebrews encourages them, and he says this: remember, God used to speak way past through visions, through dreams, through our conscience, through creation, through other people, through prophets. But now, in these times, God the Father has spoken to us through his Son, Jesus. And then the writer to Hebrews says this, Jesus, listen, this is very difficult. Jesus is the brightness of his glory. I want you to imagine now. Outside, now it's England in nearly November. It is November now. It is now. I don't know what month it is. Now it's very dark and cold. And sometimes when you go to visit your friends, you go to their door, and the front door is very dark. You walk up to the door, and as you walk up to it slowly, all of a sudden the electronic light comes on, and the floodlight goes boom, and everything is lit up. And that floodlight can be very, very powerful. And so where it was once dark, now all of a sudden everybody on the whole street can see you because the floodlight has lit you up. The writer in the book of Hebrews says Jesus is the floodlight of God. Jesus is the floodlight of God. He reveals to us the Father. Jesus had some friends. One was called Philip. And one day Philip came to Jesus and said, Jesus, show us the Father. And Jesus said, Philip, if you have seen me, you've seen the Father. Because I and the Father are one. Jesus is the floodlight of God to show us the Father. This is my message for you tonight from the book of Hebrews for you to remember. Jesus is the floodlight of God. Well, I'm going to hand back to you now to see if there's any questions, or I'd gladly try and answer any questions.
Well, you're going to be hanging around for a
Yeah,
while.
or I can hang around.
Okay, so if you want to grab him and ask questions, feel free. In the meantime, tea and coffee is still available.
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me come and speak to you.